last time we had a bulldozer or a excavator out here cutting this out, it found the electric service. This is Ferrocement House Build Part 6, Electric Upgrades. Alright, so here you see our transformer and the electric meter. We had this installed like, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, maybe less. You know, the community got power. So our meter, it's just, you know, straight shot down to where it broke and then over to the meter. So when we originally dug it, it was just a gentle sloping hill all the way to that part of the house. And then we had that other earthwork done, and we excavated the courtyard area. That's when it got broke. So our previous earthwork had left our electric line busted. The conduit was broken, and if you look real closely right here, you can see there's some nicks. But the wire's not busted, and it's only the outer insulation that's bad. So it's fine. We've been excavating our trench a little deeper. You know, hand dug it since there's already electric line running here. And then we're going a little deeper because we're going to not only run a larger conduit backwards, we're going to run a line for an outdoor kitchen and some other things. I'm trying to figure out the game plan for putting on a proper outdoor electric box, because right now we have this indoor box inside of a cabinet, and it's really ugly and messy, I think, and not really up to code. So we're going to make some electric games, I like to call it. So the box, it's upside down, looking at the bottom of it. You know, it has a place, you know, a big opening for the main power to come up through the bottom. It's got a couple options here that are big enough for the power to the yurt to go through. Then everything else we could sort out. So I'd like to have the box more or less centered on this wall. The yurt power coming in from the edge, the main power coming in from the center. You know, this box isn't very big, it's 14 inches wide. The problem, let me zoom in down below. Alright, so I was going to use this hole to send the power to the yurt, this one for the main supply, then this one over here is going to become an empty line that's going to send power to the shop we build at some point. But if I had access to a foot, yeah, go back over here. So if I want to be in the center of my wall, I probably want to take this little thing. Okay, this is okay. So I just barely have a foot and a half from side to side. And there's a rebar right there, which is slowing me down. I'm just going to leave it. Ugh. Just as a little tour of some of the temporary work that we've done. So these big wires here, these 8-gauge wires, this is what this is what my dad originally wired the dome with. And this was you know, a heavy gauge wire because we're going to use a 12-volt electric system. You know, when I was born and what I grew up with was we had maybe 6 solar panels and I don't know, 4 golf cart batteries, deep cycle batteries, and and that's what the house was run off of. Minus, you know, we had an inverter that we used for certain things, and a generator for tools. So, you know, using the existing dome wiring, you know, get power to some of the circuits. This is what my dad did. He hooked up this GFI and wired it into these 8-gauge wires that were originally 12-volt circuits, just to give us some level of safety. You know, when you're using power in a unfinished underground house. You know, I thought that was kind of clever. But then also, see these 3 red wires here? This is what's bringing, let's see what we have it. I guess we have a 60 amp service out to the yurt. And so we have the 2 positives and then the neutral there. And anything else confusing? This is going to our RV, so that's straightforward. This, that's going to the wood part of the house. That's actually a pretty scary circuit up top. It's been exposed to the sun and the insulation's worn off. But yeah, you get the idea. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start taking things apart. I do have my insulated screwdriver here. Although the power's off, so I shouldn't be afraid, but I still am. A cautious level of scaredy cat. Oh.
Over here.
Are you in there? I don't see you.
I'm up here.
Oh, you're up there.
Up here.
Oh, you're up here. Okay.
I guess at some point we need to pull all these vines off the house.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to preserve them. Maybe we could get them going up a trellis.
Oh, those just finger tight, huh? Yeah, a little bit rusty. Oh, plugged into the air compressor. With the end of our supply line free, we go ahead and take this time to replace our broken conduit and get it stubbed in below the new box. Is that a miter saw? What is that?
It's a miter saw. Hasn't been used since before you were born.
Hadn't been used since this was an off-grid property.
This is what you think I need to do.
Yeah.
You feel good about this.
So they do sell glue specific to conduit, and that's probably what you are supposed to use. What we're using is this blue stuff. It's the same thing I used when I put in the French drain connection. So it's the medium blue rain or shine. It's pretty potent stuff, and it's bringing this back to life pretty well. We're going ahead and I'm priming these. I'm using the blue stuff, just trying to get as good a bond as possible. These connections are pretty shallow on these junctions. I don't know why they make such crappy couplers. Seems like the coupler should be as deep as the bell on one of these 10 or 20 foot pieces. Okay, I'm just make believing I can see what's going on, and then in these I just sort of fake it a little bit. Oops, oh, made a mess. God, I hate getting this shit on me. Looking like a smurf. Okay. Now for the glue. I go a little heavy on the glue. I don't know, it's a problem I have. Can't help myself. Okay. And then I also fake it a little bit in here. my little junction. That's a lot of glue. Okay, I think if I set it down, it'll stay put. Yeah. I'm going to refresh my primer just a little, because this actually does make the PVC a little bit soft. I mean, you keep working it starts feeling sticky. So it's more than just cleaning the surface. Pretty sure. Oop. Take some of my goop. Get in there best I can. Oh, please be all over. No, fake it on the inside. Fake on that side. I'm gonna stick it in and point it straight up. Oh God, please don't be too long. Please be straight up. I'm gonna match this height with my 2-inch, and I'm gonna put little box adapters. You know, the threaded, you know, the slip to a threaded piece, and then mount, you know, drill holes in the wall so the box sits right on top. I test fit the service panel sitting on top of the pipes so I could mark the 4 corners to mount the thing, and then we just busted holes through the Ferrocement. And this wall was a little thicker than I had anticipated. Parts of it were like 2 inches thick, which is some pretty thick Ferrocement. We opted for the stainless steel fasteners this time instead of galvanized, because the galvanized ones had started corroding, and I like to pretend this will last centuries, millennia. I don't know. Alright, all the other bolts are pressing on the tops of the holes. This is the only one on the bottom, so I'm going to tweak it. Put the nuts on there. Let's see if I can't. Alright, this is where the electric box is going, and I'm drilling a hole through this Ferrocement wall. As you can see, the old box was mounted in this hole here, and where I'm drilling a hole is right here. So I went ahead and drilled a pilot hole with a masonry bit, and we're going to try it out, see if my $11 hole saw will go through this or not. I'm not using the hammer, I'm just using the drill. Alright, so my bit, I dulled it, because right up here there's a piece of remesh, and the remesh is an 1/8 of an inch thick wire maybe, and just rubbing on that I sort of dulled it. So it was gobbling up concrete real fast till I hit that. And then finally I sort of worked below it, because I didn't hit it dead on, I hit it right at the tippity top. And it's cutting. Not as fast as it was initially. It doesn't even feel very gritty on the blade anymore. You know, there's still some roughness, but God, nothing like it was. And so it is cutting, but this is gonna just be one of those things that sucks. So I'm just gonna help it out. I'm gonna work off some of this mass as I drill, and so I'm confident the drill bit will make it through. What I am worried about is I don't want to overheat the drill itself.
There is that Milwaukee drill. Does it need to be a hammer drill mode?
No, I don't think so. Does it? I was trying without it.
Okay, and then there's that Milwaukee drill in there too, which is really heavy duty.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that one. So I had switched to the Milwaukee because the DeWalt was getting kind of hot, but this Milwaukee has a lower maximum speed, and it was drilling much better. So once I switched to this, I just wham, sank down in there, which was great. But I also discovered rebar, which is unfortunate. I really See if we look in there. Oh my God. So I really didn't want to cut through a rebar. I got no choice now. I'm just going to power through it. I'm almost through. Let's do this together. Fell through. Freaking awesome. Goodness. Okay, well that was the $11 bit, okay? Let's cool it off so I can see if it still got any texture to it. So, this is the tungsten carbide. It still has a little bit of roughness to it. I might be able to cut another hole with it. 11 bucks total, including the, I don't know the terminology, the base and the cup. Alright, so let's see how thick this wall was. So this is just at 2 inches. So, and this is probably the thicker part of Ferrocement is up to 2 inches. The thinner part would be not even have rebar in it. It would just be the remesh and the hardware cloth. So yeah, totally picked a hard spot to drill, but I mean, I guess I didn't pick it, I had to. So really, both these are good drills, but the hammer drill, there's a 2-speed transmission, and well, it's on 2. I guess it's on fast speed, and it's still hot. You know, I mean, it's warm. It's not overheated. It wouldn't smell like burnt metal. Whereas this Milwaukee, I mean, I used it. I finished up with this one, and I used it for longer, and it's just barely warm. So I guess that says something about what tools you use. You should pick the right tool for the job you're doing. Although this thing, it did bind up once and kick on me, and it was powerful. It might, I don't know, this could hurt somebody if you really got twisted up in it. Kind of a rainy day today. Good day to be working with electricity. So what we got is we have a line to the shop that's not built. We have the main supply. We have a line to the yurt. And then we have a line to our wall. You know, all these are various circuits, right? They go through the trench into the wall. So one just dead ends there. One goes off to the main supply. This one's going to power, you know, a couple plugs, maybe come down to a kitchen area. I don't know. We have another line that got to run up here, plus tap into the circuits here. And this one at an angle, that powers the main circuit in the little dining room. And it's not under the box anymore, so I'm going to need to dig it up and move it over. And then over here, you know, one of these is a data line for getting you know, internet or cable out to the yurt, and then the other one is the power to the yurt. I don't know if I ever showed you the yurt. Let's look at that. So on the yurt, we haven't figured out our gutters just yet, but this is a 5-sided building built from a star kit that my dad picked up from Ace Hardware when I was little. And this is the second time he's used the star kit. The first one was like a screened in room with just a little garden shed. It's kind of a mess in here. But you know, we got some of the furniture from the RV, then some computer stuff, TV. So this is built with reclaimed, it's a mixture of reclaimed material and new stuff. So we have a skylight, and then we have an attic vent, air conditioner, electricity all the way around. Got 5 windows, a glass door. It's pretty nice. I don't know, a good tour. The floor is just painted. We might do something about that later, make it a little nicer, but yeah. Sorry about all this stuff. So since I've already used up all the the big holes in the bottom of the box for this other electric work. That's why I decided to go through the wall for this. So I'm just using one of these box adapters and an elbow. Gonna go through, send power into the earth tube, and then all the way around. You know, the outside measurement was 36 feet. So we're going to go all the way around, into what used to be the hot water heater closet. And I think I'm going to punch another hole in the wall down here somewhere and just rough it in here. And eventually we're going to put a sub panel in to power the wood part of the building. Alright, so here we are above the dining room bubble, and there's the vent for the hot water heater. So I'll be drilling a hole through this wall somewhere, and the conduit is going to lay in the bottom. See, I'll walk around here without falling down the hole. The bottom of this earth tube. I guess it's an earth tube. I don't know what to call it. Until eventually we get back over here and it angles up and goes through the wall. And then also looks like I'm going to be digging underneath the supports for our brace here to try to straighten out this line where this piece of conduit goes up into the roof of the dome and empowers, you know, everything around here. So you can see we have some like this ridge is some power, this ridge is some power, then we go down over there, up into here, there. So we have power coming up this little ridge. And there's a box in the concrete there, over here, box there. So it comes up, we got power here. And then it's going to go all the way down and then eventually tie into that piece of conduit, which goes to a box at the end of the wall over there. But then also, we got to tie into a circuit right here. And this circuit eventually goes all the way around the dome until it powers what we call the yellow room, and the little room that's going to be completely underground. Panning back across to, you know, got to pick a starting point, so that's what we're going to do here. Oh wow, this is hard. Alright, but see, I got it mostly dug out. Then I'm just going to go to the outside and dig it there. And once I get it loose, I'm going to pull it out a little bit, cut it off, shorten it, readjust it. This wasn't easy. I'm just going to see if I can get this freed up enough. Alright, not quite. Oh my God. I'm going to have to run back in there, I'm sure. Alright, this is the electric that's in the roof of the dining room bubble. The same electric line that I am digging up in the earth tube. As you can see over here, see that little piece of PVC sticking through? I'm pretty sure that's that line. I'm going to pull it out and replace it with a conventional 12 gauge with a ground wire, just to get a good ground up here. Because some of these, the house was originally wired kind of as a dual system. You know, we had the 8 gauge wires for the 12 volt, but we also had an inverter. So some of it's conventional Romex wiring. Like this box has so I got two Romex wires coming out of it for wall plugs, and then this box over here has 3 paths maybe for the 12 volt wires. So yeah, I don't know. No one really remembers how we wired it and why. So we're just going to figure it out as we go and salvage as much as possible. But I am going to replace those wires. Alright, so this little lump of concrete here is our power to circuit, to the power to get to this whole circuit of the dome. Alright, that's the one that I'm adjusting. What I'm going to do is, I don't know if this will work because this does have a 90-degree plumbing elbow bringing the electricity down and into it, right? So I might not be able to pull the wires out, but I'm going to try. If not, I'm just going to chisel all that concrete off. Well, okay, almost got it. I finally got it ready just to drop it back in place, but now I got to go pick up the kid. So I got the line run. I pulled the new wire through this conduit with the old one just so I could reuse the conduit, even though it's not really any point in saving $5, but whatever. What I still need to do, wait, this is what I wanted to show you. So I did get the concrete chiseled up, and you can see right through there down to the rest. So the old power, we had our batteries outside that wall. So I guess the old power came up this way and then tied into everything. And when we got shore power, no, what's it called? When we got plugged into the grid, my dad just banged through here and ran the power on top and down the side. So that's all pretty interesting. But I got a lot of work to do on my trench. Let's see if we can see that. So I'm going to extend the trench over to the corner, and I'm going to try to run this conduit up that seam. I'm going to try to run this conduit up that seam to here and re-pour a little concrete cap for it, keep it safe. But I'm going to try to make this conduit tight to the dome. That way when we spray foam, it'll just all get encapsulated in there. Holy hell. Oh, I can't believe that it works. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this as level as I can. So I just about have my electric buttoned up. I'm going to replace the ground rod because we have a pipe in there right now, and so I'm just going to put it right off center. I mean, right over here, and then you know, the ground lines are going to come down in the piece of conduit and over. Now I need to go shop and get some more parts, but you get the idea. Alright, so I'm working on the electricity in the dining room bubble. I got the new, I guess, service. You know, I put in a grounded, you know, 2-strand plus a ground Romex, and brought on a couple things. So anyway, there's 4 wires connected there. But another problem is this box here is not a, well, can you see it? it wiggle. It's not really rated for weight. So I'm going to install an eye hook somewhere in this general area, just so we can, you know, support heavier things if we want. Maybe want a big chandelier over our dining room table. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's the dining room bubble. This is the dining room dome. This is the main dome. See that? Thanks. So we brought AC power into it this way, swapped a few wires out. What I'm going to do to install my eye hook is I need to identify the various things not to drill into. So there is the box right here, and another box right here, only separated by 8 inches or so. Then there's, you know, 2 lines here, 1 line here, and I'd like to be somewhere, you know, center in the dome, maybe in this area or that area. I don't, you know, I'm gonna figure that out off camera and start drilling. All right, so I'm going 4 inches over, square to the opening, about 5 inches up. I shouldn't miss everything. Look at that. That's almost exactly where I wanted it. So, yeah. Didn't hit any wires. Now I'm just going to make it big enough for the eye hook to go through. And so, I like that location right there, because when I stood in the center of the room, look at the window. The center of that window is about center, and more or less that hole is there. It's not the center in this direction, but it is in this direction. What I'm using, this is a 2,200 pound actual eye hook solid cast piece. This costs a little bit more than the bent steel ones. You know, this was $5.50 instead of a different 1/2 inch one that was folded over without being welded or cast, which was $3. And the difference is a 300 pound hook versus a 2,200 pound hook. You know, might as well go with this, because maybe one day we'll hang a chair from here or something, right? Let's make sure it goes through there. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of the pookie on it. Oh boy. Okay. Too much pookie. Not enough success. Okay. Drop that on. Drop 2 of those on. Use the big nut. Get that nice and tight, I guess. There you go. That's not moving anymore. I'm gonna make a mess of my finger here and just go ahead and smear the schmoo around, as they say. Okay. If I had some soap water handy, you can touch these things without sticking to yourself. But I don't. Since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and fill up this hole. Hopefully, yeah, Maybe I shouldn't be playing with it so much. That'll be okay. We're going to put a cap of concrete on top of this, and that's going to make it awesome. This is good enough for now. Alright, the stuff I'm using is this quad all-season formula. I'm not even sure what it is. What? It takes 7 to 14 days to cure. It can handle 25% joint movement, and it's paintable. What is it made out of? Clear. I don't know. But smells terrible. It's got all sorts of terrible things on it. Probably shouldn't have it on your fingertips. Okay. But yeah, this quad. Alright, this is the line that goes to the west side of the dome. It powers the yellow room and a couple of the plugs in the living area. But anyways, as you can see, the sun has destroyed the insulation on these wires. Plus, they're too short, and I don't want to have a junction under 10 feet of earth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside and disconnect this wire. You know, pull one of these out, and then hook a new wire to it, and pull through a new line. And I'm going to have a continuous run going from over here way. Let's see if we can look. I can't see. Everything's in the way. But anyways, we're going to have a continuous line going way over to the other side of this arch where our electric box is. Alright, as we come around the dome, there's a plug right there. There's electricity in the green room over there. There's a plug behind the door right there. And this is the first plug on the circuit. Let's see what we got in here. Oh man, okay. So we got 4 wires coming through a single conduit and a 90. That's going to be a little tricky, but I have faith that we can get it done. So I'm not real sure if I have enough mix to get this done. So I'm just going to go ahead and string it out, because we're just going from right over there to down here. But I don't want to drill another hole through the wall. What I want to do is go down and back around. So do a U underneath the wall and through the bottom of the breaker box. But I think we got plenty here. So I verified with the flashlight that this is indeed the short wires, the ones that go this way. Alright, what I have is a spool of wire. I'm going to give it a little twist. Try to get that secured on there a little bit. And then trying to minimize the drag. Tape this joint up just a little too much. There we go. And hopefully as I pull that, I'm going to stretch this out a bit. Okay, so I'm leaving my wire spooled up right there, connected. I'm going to pull it through. It's not always easy getting these shots here. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. Alright, well, let's give this thing a pull, see if we can get that wire through. Ooh, that was hard. Hope we didn't lose our wire. Let's see. Still have tension, that's good. Oh my God. Feels like our wire's stuck on something on the other side. Oh no! Oh fuck! Oh! Okay. That's no bueno. Okay, good news is, since we're almost there, it's able to just push the wire the rest of the way through. Oh. So I'm going to make a hoop. I'm going to tap all that stuff. Can you see what I'm doing here? All right, hold on 1 second. Let's see. I gotta do some screwing around. Okay, I'm almost through. So this is my technique. I had some needle nose on my wire. It's yanking. And then since this is a T, you know, I would bend it, pull, bend and pull. Now, so, see how slow it is? But I think I got enough. I can pull it the rest of the way. Maybe. No, not quite. I still got to bend and pull. Let's see. Yeah, almost there. I'm going to pull out, you know, 6 inches or so, just so I can cut off whatever I boogered up and get some good contacts. Or keep the insulation in shape. I can't talk, this is hard. Alright, I'm being kind of ridiculous here. This is a 3/4 inch conduit, and I'm pulling 3 8-gauge, 1 10 gauge, and a Romex through it. You know, two 12 gauge and 1 ground. So the idea, we're going to get 6 feet out of this thing, and I'm going to go from the panel down and up, over, connect to all of our other stuff, bring it all to life, and I'm going to have an 8-gauge 240 volt optional circuit just in there in case we ever need it. Because who knows, we might be getting an electric car one day, might need to put a charger out there by the driveway. I don't know. I'm just going to future-proof it. We have the wire, might as well use it. Okie dokie. First things first, it's going to kill the power so the main bus is not going to murder me. I got a little bit of wiggle room in this thing. I got to get it in there. Kind of sideways, poke it down. Ooh, it's gonna be a tight one. All right. So I got the final height set with that. I'll go ahead and turn the power back on. I can still use tools. Just leave this like this until I'm ready to hook things up. So the T is going to go on right there, and the 3/4 inch conduit, the length of the wall that way. So that's my cut line. I'm just going to do it by hand, however I can. Being careful not to ruin my wires. Well, I got the top cut off, and it was kind of hard. But this is schedule 20. See how thin that is? And it's not very flexible. That's, you know, a little bit too much concrete up here. I'm going to chip away and see if I can't get a little bit more flexibility, because I really don't want to break this one. So I'm just being real gentle. You can see my remesh, or I mean my hardware cloth, it's right there. So I'm just going to clean this out a little. I'm going to make a screwdriver send. Okay, well, that let me do it. But just barely. we're just gonna roll with it and hope hopefully that'll survive that. Yeah, well, let's just hope and pray. Yep, that's it. That's all she wrote there. It's a little bit loose, but whatever. That's something. Huh. Oh well, yeah. I like it. I don't know. What a mess. Alright, I'm trying to plan out this electric run here. So what I'm thinking is I got a 45, and I'm going to go there to here to there, and somewhere in here I'm going to put a T so we can expand someday, you know, electricity up here to top deck or something. And then on the other side of this T, I'm going to put another T that will let this circuit, which is our west side of the dome, the yellow room and such, you know, come over up and tie into it. So for now, I'm going to go up to 45, to a T, to the T, to the T, and then we're going to go down for this other circuit. So I'm just test fitting my piece here. It's going to go over to the entry arch, through that elbow, over to the wall. There's a piece of metal sticking out I can tie it to, and it's going to go up and over to the T. And then this T gives us options for powering part of the house if we want, but the only thing I'm going to utilize in there is the small white wire that's going to become a ground, so I get half this dome grounded. And then we're going to continue across the edge, whoops, all the way down to over here. And then there's going to be a junction box right there. So there's the junction box. And then that continues on to a plug at the end of the wall. So the junction box is going to be where I end my 8-gauge wires, just so they're there in case we need them. They're not going to be hooked up or anything. And then the plug is going to be brought to life with this circuit. So it's, I don't know, it's not ideal to have an outdoor plug hooked to your indoor stuff, but I don't know. It's sort of what we got, and I'm just going to work with it. Alright, look at this mess I got. So I got my wires coming down over there, going into the conduit right there. So I need another 10 or 11 feet, get to the junction box here, and go on to the plug. Alright, I'm going to work on completing this junction box here. So this white wire is going to become a ground. I'm going to tap into the ground in the Romex and ground the circuits in the arch. And this will let me grab one more plug with a grounded plug. Not that we really need grounded plugs these days, since everything's made of plastic. And but you know these have had some pretty bad sun damage. You see, there's a break right there, and then there's another break up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some electrical tape on the insulation here. Yeah, just in case we ever do something else with this wire. Because I don't think we could ever pull this one through, because it goes through several T's. It's like, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so if you look right over here, see we have this extra T coming down. So the idea is at some point in the future, maybe this upstairs area, we'd want to bring this circuit back to life and, I don't know, have some spotlights or some mood lights or something. So I'm going to just leave, that's going to be our ground. I'm just going to leave, got a neutral, a positive, and I don't know, I guess a switch. I'm just going to leave these in the box. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to cut back this insulation. Yeah, so I twist them, cap them, and tape them. Make sure the cap doesn't fall off. So I got my hot. I'm gonna just sort of cram in the top, way back. I got a ground. I'm gonna cram in there, and I got the neutral. I'm gonna cram in there, and then these extra ones. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead, just in case. I mean, it's disconnected now, but what if we accidentally hook it up? I'm gonna. Just so we don't have to worry about that. Positive whenever getting brought online. Okay. I'm going to cram that one in there. I'm going to cram this one in there. And then this one also gets crammed in there. So I finally switched to the gray conduit cement. My other stuff set up on me. Alright, so I'm going to put this 4-way junction box on here, and then I have a elbow, and then I'm going to have to put a piece of something or other in here. So fixing a broken piece of conduit over here has turned into kind of a crazy distraction, but at least we got this electric box on now. Man, I've made a mess. Oh, mound of dirt. You know, it's like twice as much dirt comes out of a hole as what will go back in every time, right? Especially if you're, backfilling part of the way with sand, but this is crazy. So I had to sort of flatten it out a little so I can get back to work. Yeah, I got a few more things to wrap up before I can get back to my wall building. Oh, it's like this feels like a lifetime ago at this point, but soon, very soon. Oh man. Well, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. The next video will definitely be more Ferrocement. I don't know when the next one of these little side project videos will pop up, but I really appreciate everyone who views these videos. I really appreciate comments, and if you feel like it, yeah, throw me a thumbs up or something. All right, thank you so much.